Okay, this is going to be interesting because this is the first time that I've been online in a very long time. Um, Partially because of health issues. I caught pneumonia, and partially because of technical issues. And I hope my technical issues have been worked out. Now I'm running here live, and hopefully someone would be kind enough for this test. Hello, Eileen. Can you hear me okay? Dark Wolf. Hello. Hopefully you guys can hear me because I've got all kinds of new equipment. Sorry to hear that. Thank you. Hello, Hey, Angelia. Hello. Perfectly. You can hear me perfectly. Excellent. So since you can hear me okay, and some of my favorite people are here. Hey, Jage. How are you? Good volume? Everything sounds okay? Excellent. Glad to hear it. Oh, some of my favorite people are here. The Reader, hello. Darren. Sigma Goes Zero, hello. Thank you. I am feeling better. Thank you. And, Jim, how are you? I am feeling better, and Angelia says I'm sounding good. Excellent. Good to hear. Right, the Mandela Effect Conference.com. I am still tired. Physically, I'm still very, very weak. But I went through a Z-Pack, and I don't know if that's antiviral or antibacterial. No, I think it has to be antibacterial. Oh, thank you, Reader. I missed you too. I missed all of you. I miss doing this thing, and I'm hoping. And part of this test is simply to see if I can stream now. They found out, they ran all these diagnostics and all this complicated stuff, and they had a person out here, and there was static in the line, and he was telling me all different kinds of jargon and terms and all of these other things, and he was explaining that there was static from the pole actually into the building. So and what was so funny is they reran a whole new cable. So yeah, it was weird not doing it this weekend. And Urban Moving Systems, thank you. I'm glad that it sounds good. Yes. I think I will be back on Saturday, barring any technical issues. In terms of my health, yes, I'm still very weak. I still have difficulty breathing, but I am on the mend, so that's very good. And in terms of my technical issues, they've basically gutted the entire. They took the whole line. They ran a brand new line. They ran the line and drilled all the way through into my room here, and then ran the cable into the. I mean, they did the whole thing. So hopefully this thing stays afloat here long enough. Because it got so bad, and it started to degrade so bad. Not only could I not do the show, which you all you could see at the end, but it got so bad that I couldn't even hold a Skype call in order to even do the lizard ritual. So it was just all kinds of very strange things. I feel as if I was tested, and I've walked through some sort of portal in a way. Because I had all kinds of different things going on at one time. It's very strange to be sick and to have technical issues all at one time, and some family stuff. But there's always family stuff, you know what I mean? There's always family things going on, so it's not as if something like that is entirely new or something. There's we all have different factions of families, and they serve different roles and all those other things. So hopefully all of you are doing well. I've been trying to keep up the best I can on Twitter. There were only about 3 days or so where I was absolutely totally bedridden. Magnetic storms from the sun now interferes with tech. Yeah, absolutely. I also note I went Eileen, I did go to that link, and I replied back on Twitter to what you were talking about, and I did find that video was very interesting. I really enjoyed it, and I've heard of, not put that way exactly, but I've heard of cycles like that before. And actually the second book that he mentions, Way back when I was in college, I read that more like 20 some years ago. I don't know if it was exactly that book, but if it was, it's the one where they described the crust of the earth almost like you'd look like an orange, and the flesh itself detaches from the core, of the orange, the part that we would eat, that people would eat, and basically it can move around, and that's what happens with the book that I read about it. So, excuse me. So that video reminded me very much of that. Here it is, the Bizarre Secret Files released on, and then yes, it was the Adam and Eve, and I think the Adam and Eve document. I think Buster has shown me that document, and yes, as it says here from Bright Insight, there's a lot of it was redacted, if I remember correctly. But I didn't read the document. There's a lot of documents, but this video explained it really well. So I retweeted it out to anyone that's interested because, hey Prelim, good to see you. If you're interested, it's certainly there on Twitter. I suppose I could pull up while we're still trying to kind of throttle the system and see if we can get it to crash. Well, hopefully it doesn't crash, actually. I don't actually want it to crash. I retweeted Eileen's, here we go, interesting video, and I can actually send out the
crust displacement is 100% impossible pseudoscience.
Okay, here we go. Crust displacement theory is what it's called. So I'll go ahead and put this out in the chat if you're interested in that kind of video. Now, as I don't know if you heard that or not, crust displacement theory, I thought that is Chan Thomas is the author of Adam and Eve. Yeah, exactly. And someone just started following me on Twitter. I don't know who they are, but or no, they didn't even start following me. They actually liked and retweeted something of mine, and it's they have here this tweet that's very interesting about, do you know this man? Hundreds of people remember reading this cult horror his cult horror novels in the 1980s and 90s, but the internet says he doesn't exist. You remember him? Share your story, and it says, who is Rex Garrett? And I'll send out the tweet right here because I wanted to get your take on this because I've never heard of Rex Garrett, but I wasn't reading 70s, 80s, or 90s horror fiction all that much like that. Particularly, this is probably mainstream kind of fiction. Let's see. All right, so I sent that tweet out, and the mustache almost looks drawn on. So I don't know, and I don't know who this Bocoledo is. It says it's a Huffington Post contributor, cat lover, and journalist. And the Twitter account joined October 2019. And it seems as if this person is Mandela is ME friendly. So if this person happens to listen to this or is listening to this, you can reach out to me about this. Who is this? And in fact, I'll go ahead and retweet this right now and ask, does anyone know about this? I certainly hope this isn't some sort of test where if they want to see if something will go viral or not within the Mandela Effect community. Certainly I wouldn't want to be a part of anything that's manipulative towards our community. I'd rather not take part in something like that. But, however, if this is a true ME and this person is genuinely interested in trying to find out what the truth about this is, certainly I'd like to throw my lot in there and see what's going on. I used to run a bookstore and never heard that author's name. Okay, well, there you go. So then this could be something like some kind of meme that they're trying to get going. Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I appreciate all the kind words from everyone. But I'm on the mend, and it's looking as if my technical issue. October, I usually thrive in October, and I usually do really well. And I felt as if October, in a lot of ways, was a kind of a gateway. Pardon the pun, but it was a bit of a gateway process for me because I feel as if I had to walk through some stuff to get to this other side. I went through this fever dream. And Prelim, no, thank you for showing up, all of you. Especially every one of you are part of, I consider the core crew, the core regulars that interact. And thank you. Thank you for being here, and thank you for listening and being a part of this scene. But I was in this fever dream, right? And I was so sick, and I couldn't stream, and I couldn't talk, and I actually, you know what's really interesting? I ought to upload, I did a video in the heat of my sickness. And because I couldn't stream, what I could do on OBS was I could record. So I recorded, I have a recording, and I don't remember what I said on it because it was more than 7 days ago. And it was in the heat of my sickness. And it would be interesting to listen to myself while I'm in the depths of that kind of abyss of having pneumonia and being incredibly sick. So, what do you guys think? You think I should release it and just take a chance? And I mean, because it could be utter gibberish. You have to remember I was very sick, but there could be some nuggets in there of truth and all kinds of interesting. Honestly, my gut feeling says that Rex Barrett is a trap. I may be wrong. Interesting. Okay. Well, if you guys are feeling that way, yeah, I can pull it later. Exactly. If it's pure gibberish and it repels people, you're right, because I don't remember what was on it, and if it's pure gibberish, you're right. I can always pull it. Sure, I should upload it. Why not? As just a it would be an interesting exercise in seeing someone who is very much like, yeah, especially it's like I was very much to the point of hallucinating, so it would be interesting to listen when I'm in that state, a vulnerable state, or I'm in an altered state, Well, thank you, Linda. Thank you very much for sending me the energy. I certainly needed it. Yeah, my dreams, let me get back to that. I have so much to say now. It's been so many weeks that and we've had the technical issues, and it's been so long since we've had a clean line. During the depths of my dreams, of these bizarro dreams that I was having, I remember the distinct feeling, and I remembered wanting to remember when I came back here to say, okay, I've been here before. And there was a distinct set of dreams while I was really sick that I was able to say to myself, you've been here before. And it was separate places is what I was able to bring back with me here. That I'd been there before, and now that I'm back here, they were different and distinct. So now that I'm keeping a dream journal, for the longest time I didn't think dreams were important, so I always thought dream journals were not effective because, and this is not to insult anybody that has a dream journal, because now I do it myself. I didn't think they were effective because I always believed, and I should have known better, especially this deep into the weeds that we've gotten. I always thought it was just the brain, kind of recalibrating itself is what, kind of what mainstream science says about sleeping. But a friend of mine, insisted that I keep a dream journal. So, and mentioned it a couple of times. So I decided to go ahead and start doing it. And it's really amazing, the consistencies and some of the emotions. Like I never recognized until I kept a dream journal. And what you do is you wake up, in the moment you wake up, within the seconds after you wake up, before it fizzles away. It's like Alka-Seltzer. An Alka-Seltzer tablet is what a dream is. And the water is like consciousness. It just fizzles away immediately. You have to get immediately to pen to paper and write it down before it all fizzles away. So I've been doing that for even before I got really sick. And it's amazing that I have emotions in dreams, like frustration, emotions, happiness, sadness, fear, all of those things in dreams. And I mean fear like you're not in a nightmare, like where there's something that wants to eat you or kill you or you're falling off a building. I mean fear like maybe the setting wasn't so frightful, but there was something that was going on that you would bring that back. And the same thing with frustration and all these other things. And it's so interesting. Sometimes that's all I have to go on. Sometimes it's very visual. Sometimes I'm talking to famous people and they're delivering messages to me. Famous people that are either alive or not. And so a lot of that, I'm starting to believe there's so much more now to the dream world. Now what I'm waiting for is for the dream world to start reflecting. My understanding is if you can go far enough with it, it can start to reflect your waking states and they can start to mirror each other. It says here, Sigma Ghost Zero says, dream journals are good, but leave it a few months before you read them again, and you'll notice a correlation between the dreams with what's been happening in your life. Oh, I was talking about the mirroring effect. Exactly. Thank you, Sigma Ghost Zero. And Steve Turner, thank you for the $10. I did read Thessalonians 2:11. And I actually have that up right here, and it says here, and for this cause God shall send them a strong delusion that they should believe a lie, that they all might be damned who believed not the truth, but had pleasure in unrighteousness. Well, Steve, can you specifically first explain why you wanted me to? Because I saw your I saw your comment, and then I'm seeing here that you're mentioning it again, Thessalonians 2:11. So I'm interested in your take on, is it that the Mandela effect is the strong delusion, and if so, why would God do that? That's my first set of questions. My second set of questions: why would we be damned if the Abrahamic God were to send us said delusion, and then it's weird, it's just strange, and then damnation for the Mandela. I can think of a lot of other things that would probably deserve an Abrahamic form of damnation than believing we aren't the damned, they are. Interesting, Steve. Very interesting take. I see. But had pleasure in righteousness. Yeah, and that's another. And now that makes sense what you're saying. I see, Steve. Because a lot of us, and a lot of us, we may not be traditional. Let's say, kind of a structured kind of religion in terms of most of our paradigms that listen to this channel in terms of traditional Abrahamic religions. But certainly, I'm not one to turn to if you need that kind of guidance. I am not your person. But I see what you're saying, Steve. And since that's an interesting turn, how you turned it that way, and because of that you made me interested. So I will read from the beginning of chapter 2, Steve. That's very original and very interesting to me. And there is something about us. It's different. We're different. And I don't think we have a delusion. I don't think we're the ones. So that's some and I've heard that before, Eileen. That's why I didn't think it was very, and why I've always wanted to ask someone about if the Mandela effect is the delusion. Let's see, some believe the Mandela effect is the delusion, and others believe that the elite covering up mind over matter is the delusion. So they teach, so they are damned. Got it. Yeah, Darren, a lot of Christians are open to ME ideas, and a lot of Christians believe that the Mandela effect is a symptom of the end times. I'm personally, I don't, but I don't engage in I kind of keep my hold on, I'm being distracted here. Sorry. I'm certainly don't fall into that camp, so certainly I would have to leave that to Christians for them to figure out, particularly the brand of Christian that America particularly produces right now, particularly the evangelical brand of Christianity. Although the American brand of any of the branches of Christianity itself, I did a video that, Jesus saved me from your followers. Now, that in itself may seem blasphemous, but if you had listened to what I had said in it and really listened to what I had said, there is the idea of Christianity in terms of the book itself and in terms of the iterations that it has gone through, through all the sects of Christianity, whether it be the original Christians, whether it be the Gnostic Christians, whether it be mystic Christianity, whether it be Protestants, Catholics, evangelicals, Seventh-day Adventists, all the flavors. My point being is that the state Jim Burns, release the sick video. Okay, I'll release it. I'll put it up there, guys. No problem. And I'll do it without listening to it. We'll all listen to it together because I have no idea what's up there. I'll take the chance. But my point about that video and my point now, why when people are so, it's almost to the point of well, I've got to be really careful because I don't want to offend people who are Christian and aren't a part of this kind of, radical side of it where it's, my way or the highway, and it's very different, and it's very, because Christianity is a legitimate religion that deserves respect, as much as any other religion out there deserves respect, and the people that adhere to it, they deserve respect whenever they respect others. And if you have a Christian that respects other people, then that person is deserving just like anyone else, I think, personally. I'm going to get off my soapbox in a second here because I don't like to do that. But I think they deserve that respect, and I don't like it whenever someone is just ardently against Christianity just for the sake of being against Christianity. And I've come across a lot of people like that, and I find that as distasteful as people who are Christians and oh, Diane, I'm sorry you have to go to work. Don't worry, this is just a test. I'm just trying to see if we're going to get bumped off here. Well, that's fine, Steve, that you're raised a Christian. That's great. I mean, shoot, half of the lost and found bin is a Christian, So Chick's a Christian. She's a straight up Christian, so we get along just fine. So no worries. Steve, you're not going to hear from me. You'll never hear from me condemning Christians or Christianity. But this flavor, this strand, and this sort of subculture in America that's arisen right now, that we're living in right now, this virulent, it's very, it seems very extreme. I don't like it, but. There's a lot about Christianity in terms of the Bible. It's very hard to argue with. Exactly. Yeah. Well, yeah, Darren. I don't even want to say their name. I'll probably get thrown off YouTube for saying those people's names. Okay, great. How long has this been going? Because I'm just trying to see if because I'm actually going to take this down. 24 minutes. I think the last time we went, it was before we started getting issues. It was 20 some minutes or so. I think before we had serious. Let me see here. The last live Lost and Found bin. Let's see what we had here. We went 20 minutes and 43 seconds before we went under. So we're yeah, okay, great, excellent. We're at the 24-minute mark, so. And thank you for the super chat, Steve. I appreciate that. And if you are a patron on Patreon, I have been neglecting it because I've been sick, and I do apologize deeply, and I will catch up on everything in terms of the videos. Promised they will be caught. Everything's going to get caught up. Everything's going to get back on track. every day I get stronger. Just went through 6 hours of the cable guide, just tearing everything up. So, we have new equipment, we have new cable, we have new all kinds of things. So, all right, it's looking like hopefully the problem was fixed. We're at the 25-minute mark. We have 46 wonderful people watching. Thank you so much, for being here. No, Joseph, it's just, I'm really just getting to, Darren, what do you mean still sounds five by five? Because I'm trying to also adjust the sound, because it really was a storm this October. I got sick, we had the technical issues, and then OBS did something where they dropped everything inside of their, okay, everything looks good, where they dropped everything inside of their audio mixer. And Buster and I were scrambling from the last lost and found bin to get the audio input capture to work again. And oh my God, that was such a struggle just to get the thing to work this last time. And then everything started dropping, and then I got sick, and it was just so bizarro. So okay, we're getting close to the 30-minute mark, which would be half of the show anyway. And okay, so what I'll do is I gotta jump off, and I want to say to you guys, thank you so much for waiting this out with me, and to say thank you. And I'm coming back, coming back with a vengeance, as they say. Let's see here. Brett says, do you guys think the Mandela effect is the cause for the famine, for the hearing word of God found in scriptures? I don't know. Brent, I don't know if that's probably a question I think Christians need to answer among themselves. Let's see here. Tweet links to SMQ so we can see it. Sigma goes 0. Eileen, I'm not sure, but I'll check it out. What's going on before I jump off? What's going on, you guys? Something. It's something I'm looking into at the moment, maybe for another time. What's going on? What are you looking into? Anyone heard the mirror world and the counter space realities? Ooh, very interesting. No, Sigma goes 0. I have not heard about that. Interesting. Well, the Bible changes. Yeah, well, the Bible changes, Brent. If you're not Abrahamic-centric, the Bible changes then are just a subset of what's going on with the Mandela effect. But, Brent, if you're, and I'm not being hostile, if you are Abrahamic-centric, meaning the Torah, Judaism, Christianity, Islam, and all of the subsets that go under the big three of the Abrahamic religions, yes, I could see how the Bible changes would be the center of your concerns in terms of the Mandela effect. But for me, it's a subset of the broader changes that are happening within the world, and they're changing all the time, and they're becoming more and more subtle. And at the same time, they're also becoming more and more bold. So it's a great question, Brent. And maybe we can address that further whenever we have Chick on. You should come on Saturdays, Lost and Found Bin, 4:30 East Coast. And what is that, 1:30 on the West Coast, and everywhere in between. And you could perhaps pose that to Chick, who's a Christian, and maybe she would have a better, she could think that out better than I could probably answer it for anybody. So yeah, no problem, Brent. No problem, you guys. All right, folks, I am going to jump off now. It's looking like we're basically at the 30-minute mark, and we didn't go under. So and I'll try to get that fever tape out. That should be really interesting for all of us. And like I said, if it's gibberish, I'll just go ahead and take it down. Sharkington, how are you? And Joseph, how are you? If I didn't say hello already. And anybody I missed, I am truly sorry, but I'm glad to see everyone's here. I am back. And what is today? Wednesday, so I should be good and strong by Saturday. So, yeah, J.H. Armstrong, people going in and out of the mortal coil, it is beyond bizarre. It's very, very. Thank you, Chris, and thank you, Linda. All right, excellent, folks. So, Yeah, and as far as Dark Wolf goes, it's what is it? MandelaEffectConference.com. It's out. It's in Ketchum, Idaho, I believe. And everyone should go out there, and it's going to be a great time. There's a lot of great speakers, a great keynote speaker too, a really famous one. So okay, I'm really actually jumping off now because I've got to go do something in 3 minutes. All right, everyone, thank you so much for showing up. Bye.